I welcome every one of you to this class. In this class, we are going to discuss about the introduction to computers. I hope you could have studied something about computers, or even you could have heard something about computers. Nowadays, we cannot say I don't know anything about computer because every one of us having the handheld computers in our hand, such as mobile phones, tab, and so on. Anyway, come let us discuss something more about the computers in this class. First, we shall see what is computer, how it can be defined. Okay, there is a definition for computer. Computer is nothing but it is an electronic device that is going to accept the raw data as input. Raw data in the sense unprocessed data. We used to say in our day-to-day life raw food, right? Raw food means uncooked foods. Likewise, the raw data is called unprocessed data. Now, this electronic device is going to accept the raw data from the user as input and it will process it using some set of instructions. The instructions may be any program or software. After the process, it will produce some information as a result called output, and it can also be saved for the future use. So that the definition is a computer is an advanced programmable electronic device that accepts raw data as input and processes it with a set of instructions to produce the result as output and saves it for the future use. Next, let us see the history of computers. In the earlier days, the abacus were used to count anything or to calculate anything. And later many people were introduced many things and it leads to the computer which we are using nowadays. Okay, but still the abacus is widely used in Asia. So after the abacus, later in 1630, the slide rule was introduced. It is based on the Napier's rule for algorithms. And afterwards, in 19th century, Jacquard loom was introduced. All these things were introduced by a group of people. This Jacquard loom was used metal cards with punched holes to guide waving process. In these metal cards, there will be punched holes. Using those holes, people were making the programs to do something, to do some calculations or to do any task. Here only the programs have been stored first in metal cards. In the year 1822, Charles Babbage introduced the difference engine, which was a huge calculator, but it was never finished. So later in 1833, again he was introduced the analytical engine. It could store numbers. Even it produces accurate answers to 6 decimal places. Okay. And the person Ada Augusta was the first programmer who had worked with Charles Babbage. He was programmed only for analytical engine. Here only the computers have been started to grow up. So Ada Augusta were developed the programs and Charles Babbage concentrated on the analytical engine. They both were started to make a program for the computers. Then the computers have been started to grow up. Now it has some generations. This is what the short history of the computer. Next, let us see the types of computer. Here the types are classified based on their speed, size and computing power. The classifications are supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, workstation and PC, that is personal computer. Okay, now let us discuss one by one. First one, supercomputer. It is an extremely fastest, largest and most powerful computer which can execute hundreds of millions of instructions per second. So supercomputer is very largest and most powerful computer and it can execute at very fast. As we said, it can execute hundreds or millions of instructions per second. Okay. And as large in size, as fast in process, its cost also very expensive and are employed for specialized applications that require immense amount of mathematical calculations. Where is the requirement for huge amount of mathematical calculations? We can use this supercomputer. Supercomputer play an important role in the field of computational science. For example, we could say weather forecasting. Nowadays we are getting weather forecasting, isn't it? இன்னைக்கு மழை வரும், இன்னைக்கு cloudy-ஆ இருக்கும், இன்னைக்கு sunny-ஆ இருக்கும். So அப்படி weather forecast பண்றாங்க. So it is based on the supercomputer's decision. Next, scientific simulations. Simulations on scientific data and graphics. Graphics is nothing but the real thing can be made by the computer as virtual, as like real one. So that is called graphics. And fluid dynamic calculations, where the calculation is on fluid flow, velocity, pressure, density, and so on. Next one, nuclear energy research. That is nothing but producing bombs, controlling it for power generation related to nuclear research. And electronic design. Electronic design is nothing but computer aided design such as IC, integrated chips, printed circuit boards, and so on. And then analysis of geological data. Geological data means all seismic data. Seismic data is nothing but 2D, 3D data, that is velocity, magnetic surface, and other surveys, and so on. The supercomputer is playing its role in these kind of places. This is the image for supercomputer. Next type of computer is mainframe computer. Mainframe computer is very large in size, but it is little smaller while we compare with supercomputer and less powerful than the supercomputer. And these computers are very expensive, and these are capable of supporting hundreds or even thousands of users at the same time. And mainframe computers executes many programs concurrently. In the sense, at the same time, number of programs can be executed by this program. In this mainframe computer, number of users can work at the same time, and also this computer can perform number of tasks at the same time. So this is the image for mainframe computer. Next computer is mini computer. It is a mid-size multi-processing system. It is capable of supporting up to 250 users simultaneously. As we said already, number of users can perform in the mainframe computer itself, but here in mini computer, at the same time 250 users can perform their task. This is the image for mini computer. And next one, workstation. Workstation is also one of the computer used for engineering applications. Engineering applications can be CAD, CAM, and so on. CAD means computer aided design, which we have discussed already, and CAM means computer aided manufacturing. So these applications are engineering applications. The workstation is mainly used for these engineering applications, and also for desktop publishing. Desktop publishing means nothing but creation of documents using page layout software on personal computer for printed content, okay? And software development, to develop any software we can use this workstation. And other such types of applications which require a moderate amount of computing power and relatively high quality graphics capabilities. That is the application which require the average amount of computing power and which requires high quality graphics capabilities. For those applications, the workstation computer will be suitable. Generally, these workstations come with a large high resolution graphics screen, large amount of RAM, and also there is built-in support of network and a graphical user interface. Graphical user interface means interacting with the computer by clicking any image or moving on any surface like that. So all these things will be available in the workstation. Most of the workstations are having mass storage device, that is disk drive, and also there is a special type of workstation which may not have the disk drive, that is called diskless workstation. There are the workstations with the disk drive, and also there are workstations without disk drive, okay? And for these workstations, the operating system may be Unix or Windows NT. These workstations may use either Unix or Windows NT operating systems. Like PC, workstations are also single user computers. In the sense, PC is nothing but personal computer which is for a single user. Like PC, these workstations also can be used by a single user. But these are linked together to form a local area network. Although they can also be used as a standalone systems. Like PC, these workstations can also be used. So this is the image for workstation. It looks like a PC. Next computer is personal computer. It can be defined as a small, relatively inexpensive computer designed for an individual user. That is, it is very small in size and also it is not very expensive. This is mainly designed for an individual user. PCs are based on the microprocessor technology that enables manufacturers to put an entire CPU on one chip. That is called personal computer. So this is the image for personal computer. It's a normal computer which we are seeing in all the places. Businesses use personal computers for word processing, accounting, desktop publishing, and for running spreadsheet and database management applications. Generally, desktop is used by the business peoples for word processing and accounting to maintain the account or for desktop publishing. I told you already what is desktop publishing. That is creation of documents using page layout, that is to take the printout, okay. And for running spreadsheet and database management, database is a huge thing. You will know slowly all these things, what is what, okay. Don't worry about these things. For the database management also, the business people can use this personal computer. And if you use these personal computers at home, the maximum purpose will be playing games and surfing the internet. It is correct, isn't it? If you use a computer at home, it may be maximum for playing games or to search something on the internet. Although personal computers are designed as single user systems. These systems can be used by a single person. And these systems are normally linked together to form a network. So now these are the types of computers. These types are classified based on the size or speed of the process, okay. Next, let us see some basic terminologies in computer. In that, the first one, hardware. Generally, we will use the word hardware in computers. What is actually the hardware? Hardware means the thing which we can see and touch is called hardware. For this, we can say the example, that is keyboard, monitor and the mouse are called hardwares. The devices are the things which we can see and touch is simply known as hardware. Next one, software. Softwares are nothing but programs or instructions, which is going to tell the computer hardware what to do and how to do it, okay. So that is called software. And next one is input. Input we have discussed already. That is a raw fact that the user enter into the computer is called input. This may include words, numbers, sounds and pictures. Anything can be given as a input to the computer. Next one, output. Output is nothing but the processed data, that is information, which is produced by the computer. Next one, control unit. Control unit is nothing but the unit which is going to control the full computer system. It instructs the input unit where to store the data, and it controls the flow of data and instructions from the storage unit to ALU, okay. From the storage unit to the ALU, how should be the flow of data? It will be controlled by control unit. And also it controls the flow of results from the ALU to the storage unit. There are many things under this. While we give the input through input unit, the data will be transferred to the storage, and where it will be processed, and after the process it should be moved to the output unit. So all these flow of data will be controlled by control unit, and it can be referred as the central nervous system, okay. And next one is arithmetic and logic unit. Shortly we can call it as ALU. This is actually performs all the calculations and also does comparison and takes decision. Next one is central processing unit. Shortly we call it as CPU. The control unit and ALU of the computer are together known as central processing unit. Central processing unit means it is nothing but the combination of control unit and ALU is called CPU. The CPU is like a human brain. it performs the following functions. What are the functions? It performs all calculations and it takes all decisions and it controls all the units of the computer. So these are the three functions which is performed by the CPU. CPU means it is not a single device. It is the combination of control unit and arithmetic logic unit. Okay. So these are some of the commonly used terminologies in computer. So far we have discussed some of the basics about computer. I hope you'll understand. I'll meet you in next class. Thank you.